The company that would become Amazon was created in July of 1994 as Cadabra Inc. by Jeff Bezos. Later that year, Bezos changed the name to Amazon. Bezos chose to begin Amazon.com as an online bookstore in the United States due to the worldwide demand for literature. The website also sold movies, CDs, and other digital forms of entertainment. In 1998, Amazon.com began their international expansion by acquiring British and German bookselling websites, namely Bookseller Limited and Telebook Incorporated, respectively. Between 1998 and 2000, Amazon launched two country-specific websites in these countries, which became known as Amazon.co.uk and Amazon.de. Bezos later expanded Amazon into France, Japan, and Canada. The expansion into Japan is of interest for two main reasons. First, the Japanese Amazon operation was the first international division that was developed on its own rather than replacing an acquired company. And second, it was the first successful online expansion into an Asian market. Diego Piacentini was hired after these successes to head their international expansion efforts. Piacentini has since been responsible for 9 additional country-specific.
After being founded in 1994, Amazon became a very popular site on the web, making a high mark on several rankings. The company continued its expansion through important acquisitions in 1998. These were BookPages, a very important online bookseller in the United Kingdom, and Telebook, the largest bookseller in Germany. Through these companies, Amazon gained access to the UK and German markets. After, the company decided to expand to other markets such as Canada, France, and Japan. This intention to continually grow was an important objective of Amazon and its founder, and eventually entering emerging markets was part of the expansion process. Three important markets for the company were China, India, and Brazil. Amazon decided to initiate in Chinese market in 2004 by acquiring Joyka.com, the largest online retailers of books, music, and videos in the country. After, it decided to start business in Brazil in December 2012, and just 6 months later entered Indian market in June 2013. China was an attractive emerging market to Amazon. With an unstoppable number of users, e-commerce was not only a way to shop, but a lifestyle in the country. In 2002, for instance, China had an estimated 27 million online consumers. 30% of China's population actively use internet for social networking and buying products. However, there were many restrictions that should be taken into consideration since China was a communist country. For instance, Chinese law regulated and restricted Amazon's internet content, as well as its sales of any media related products or services, among others. Besides, Amazon would face very strong competitors in the Chinese market, such as Ishnet and Alibaba. Amazon made several sensible changes in terms of logistics in order to penetrate Chinese market, which require important cash flows. Despite its continued investments and efforts, Amazon's share of the Chinese business to consumer e-commerce market stood at a mere of 3.5% at the end of 2012. According to a recent report from the Chinese market research firm eResearch China, Amazon's Chinese site holds about 1% of the country's 378 billion e-commerce business in terms of market share. Although the company has considered other strategies to compete in the market, such as buying Twitch, a world's leading platform for watching organized video game competitions, to diversify its products, Alibaba still dominates Chinese market with more than 50% of it.
While still profitable, Amazon's China expansion is not considered to be a great success. Amazon experienced several issues in China between competitors and consumers that resulted in more effort put into changing logistics than on expanding business. Amazon has considerable competition from other companies in the online market who offer comparable services at comparable or even cheaper prices. Another issue that Amazon experienced was from its own customers. Many were uncomfortable paying online with a credit card before receiving the goods they purchased. Eventually, Amazon adopted a cash-on-delivery option.
In order to enter Indian market, Amazon implemented different strategies based on sensible choices more suitable to the market's characteristics. For instance, the company decided to make greater investments during the starting process. Amazon's CEO and VP for international expansion led the company's investment in Jungle.com, an online product review site which would help getting into the Indian market. Moreover, the company decided to build big distribution centers in Mumbai and Bangalore and launch a fulfillment by Amazon program in which Amazon was in charge of storing sellers' products in its created distribution centers for a delivery fee. The company also offered incentives and discounts to the customers in order to increase sales and adopted a cash on delivery option. Although Amazon is behind Flipkart and Snapdeal in the market share, the company's sales are growing at a sustainable rate each year. This growth has been a result of seller market initiatives adopted by the company, such as launching an Indian seller blog on services, seller newsletter, and starting putting seller stories in 2016, which have positively impacted the seller registrations. The third emerging market to consider by the company was Brazil. Amazon launched Amazon Brazil on December 2012 by only introducing its Kindle ebook store. In order to further penetrate this market, Amazon listed 1.4 million ebooks, 13,000 of which were offered in Portuguese. This number has been increasing over the years. For instance, in 2014, it increased to 28,000 titles in Portuguese. In addition, Amazon introduced its Kindle e-reader in the country in February 2014. Nowadays, Amazon remains as the number one ebook seller in Brazil, lagging behind several other competitors such as Saraiva, which was the largest bookstore chain and leading book publisher in Brazil. When it comes to early and late movers, there are some risks and benefits to consider. For early movers, for instance, we consider the main risk is uncertainty of knowing customers' reaction to products. Because of being the first to move in, there will be any parameter or company's history to look at in order to do benchmarking. Although this is a risk, it could be a benefit too because early movers can set high quality standards for products and services and can get great market share. This situation will make entry more difficult for late movers. On the other hand, for late movers, the main risk is not finding the right way to compete with well established competitors in the market. If you wait too much, other companies will grow in the meanwhile. When it comes to benefits, we consider that being a late mover gives you the chance to look up how other companies did it. The company has examples or parameters of what can be done and what should not be done in order to enter the new market.
When it comes to emerging markets, companies and their investors must look beyond the bottom line in their profit margins. Expanding into a new market is a learning process and requires time to adjust to the new cultures, economies, geographies, and consumer demands of the area they move to. Companies that expand into emerging markets need to be patient and look for any opportunity to learn, adapt, and go above the expectations set upon them. No matter how prepared they may think they are for a new area, there will still be surprises and changes that will force them to either adapt or fail. As can be seen with Amazon's expansions into India and China, the same strategy.
A risk assessment is carried out with the purpose that the project team can avoid and mitigate the project risk ahead of time. As a systematic process that plans, identifies, analyzes, responds, and controls the risk of a project, for the Amazon in emerging markets, we identify the following risks. Of a high impact and high likelihood, we can mention government laws and restrictions for foreign companies and business. As well, issues in dealing with governmental entities. Of high impact and high likelihood, product delivery problems due to local conditions. Moreover, we estimate encountering unreliable suppliers as a high impact risk, but with a medium likelihood. Power outages can have a high impact and a high likelihood. Customer payment preference has a medium impact and a medium likelihood. With a high impact on project success, but a medium likelihood, we can mention the oversight of customer needs and market expectations. Also, implementing an inadequate marketing campaign. It's important to be aware that risks vary according to the market. For this reason, a country-specific risk assessment to respond correctly to the needs of each market results crucial. After the analysis of the Amazon in emerging market case, we have come across with some recommendations to consider when doing international business. Concerning the language and differences, we had seen that language can shape our thinking, reason why it's key to assess the limitations that different languages and dialects impose to international business. Moreover, the culture of the company will depend on the employees and strategies we use, which is why the local workforce can help the company develop better in emerging markets. The company should consider customization in its operation when expanding to a new market. So hiring local workforce is an excellent way to play it out as an insider in the country. Taking cultural differences into account is paramount to ensure the success of an overseas business. In the same line, not respecting the culture, custom, and etiquette of a culture can lead to failure and repudiation of customers. On the other hand, Amazon should carry out a field research on its competitors that allow them to differentiate from others and offer what is needed and expected in the market while improving what is already being offered. Additionally, a deep and detailed risk assessment that evaluates the geographical, cultural, and religious characteristics of each country, the trends of the markets, the negotiation strategies, is crucial since it will be the basis for creating prevention strategies that guarantee a better and a smoother process with less adverse events and more probabilities of success. Furthermore, it is important to have a good knowledge and management of the different laws to which the company must submit in each country, as these can help to prevent and avoid corruption and bribery. Hiring legal experts and having local professionals who, in addition to knowing the law, can help handle the business in the local scenario. Finally, it is specifically recommended for China and Brazil to perform an in-depth analysis of what products will be worth offering according to the needs and demands of the consumers. In addition, establish a strategic alliance with local companies that allow them to avoid import taxes and offer more economic solutions than the competitors. With regards to India, it's recommended to increase the number of pickup locations, to lessen the impact of how difficult it is to deliver packages there because the address of many places are given by general landmarks and the difficult access that characterize most of the localities.
This presentation analyzed the success of Amazon expanding into China. Although Amazon was successful in expanding into emerging markets in other countries, such as India and Brazil, Amazon was not successful once expanding into China. Challenges in India and Brazil provided opportunities for Amazon to adapt and grow, but issues in China prevented them from doing so. There were several issues from competitors and consumers that prevented Amazon from successfully expanding in China. The largest challenge came from their competitors. Other online retailers provided similar services as consumers at lower costs and often worked better with the Chinese culture. For example, many consumers did not like Amazon's policy of collecting money via credit card when placing an order before it was received, as they did not want to pay for a good until they had it. Eventually, Amazon implemented a cash-on-delivery policy that allowed customers to pay in cash upon receipt of their goods, but this was still not enough to improve sales significantly. In other situations, like in India and Brazil, Amazon was able to adapt to meet